right now, and there are some surprises.
We're going to look at several of those races. The AP has just recently called Tim Walz as the winner, the new governor of the state of Minnesota. AP just called that race, and we're going to have Esme Murphy at DFL headquarters in just a little bit. The Attorney General's race, with 44% of the precincts reporting in. Keith Ellison, Democrat, with 53% of the votes. Doug Wardlow with 41% of the votes. And the special election for U.S. Senate, 44% of the precincts reporting in. Tina Smith, Democrat Tina Smith, with 57% of the votes. Karin Housley with 38% of the votes. We have live team coverage tonight from the Twin Cities to the Iron Range to Mankato. And we're going to start with veteran political reporter Pat Kessler.
Yes,
Pat, some surprises.
Yeah, there are a lot of surprises here tonight. Democrat Dean Phillips is one of the biggest ones tonight. He defeated five-term Republican Congressman Eric Paulson. It's a major win for national Democrats, flipping what is a key seat for Democrats who are trying to win control of the U.S. House. This is a race that was noteworthy for the record $18 million spent and how negative it was. Paulson loses to Phillips. Here are the numbers with 98% reporting. Dean Phillips, 56% of the vote. Eric Paulson, 44%. That is a huge margin. Phillips campaigned against Paulson on a positive message. His campaign slogan was, "Everyone's invited." He hit Paulson on taxes, health care, and President Trump. Paulson felt more and more threatened, and he reverted to an unrelentingly negative campaign, calling Phillips Shady Dean, making unsubstantiated claims about Phillips. Noteworthy tonight was this vote turnout, much higher than expected. This final result, not even close. Phillips, the first Democratic congressman from the 3rd District in Minnesota since 1961.
Pat, I know that margin, or the number is surprising in terms of voters, but the margin is too, right?
Yeah, we were very surprised at how big that margin was. If the vote is that big in that district, it is going to lift up perhaps some other candidates in that district. That's what we'll be watching for the rest of the night.
All right. Thank you very much, Pat.
Yeah. Let's get out to Esme Murphy live at DFL headquarters, reaction to that, and also a lot of people excited about Tim Walz, Minnesota's new governor, Esme.
Well, I can tell you this, Frank, this crowd does not know yet that this race has been called for Tim Walz. The monitors here are on national television, and that has not yet been broadcast to this crowd. I think they're going to find out any second right now. Tim Walz is actually in the crowd right behind me. We are expecting the DFL party chair to start speaking at any moment, and then with minutes, that eruption was the call for Senator Tina Smith. Senator Tina Smith has just been called the victor here, and the crowd reacting. They still haven't heard the news, though, about Tim Walz. This crowd very buoyed. We can come back here, Frank, as soon as Governor-elect Tim Walz starts speaking.
I'll just tell them to flip the TV to WCCO, and we'll do that, Esme. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sure thing.
Thank you. We're going to look again at those numbers at the Minnesota Attorney General's race, which was a very contentious race.
Yeah, it certainly was. Here are the very latest that we have from that race involving Keith Ellison and Doug Wardlow. Again, not even half the precincts reporting, but Ellison with a lead at this point.
And Jennifer Merrily is at the GOP headquarters, and she joins us now. How is everybody there right now, Jennifer?
This race... Well, everyone's really just watching things come in. This race has been one to watch throughout the night, and this crowd has been reacting as the numbers have been coming in. Ellison with the lead. People here obviously wanting Wardlow to gain some traction. Now, Congressman Keith Ellison has said he felt positive going into tonight, and he is only concerned about the final results. But I'm told his Republican opponent, Doug Wardlow, is in his camp's war room right now watching those results come in. This race has been volatile. Ellison was accused of physical abuse against an ex-girlfriend. He denied those allegations. But Wardlow has said the allegations make him unfit for office. Wardlow is known for his work with a conservative group that opposed expansion of LGBTQ rights. Now, a Democrat has held this position for Attorney General in Minnesota since 1970, and time will tell if the DFL will keep hold of that, or if a Republican will take over for the first time in 48 years. I can tell you the mood here, quiet as they are waiting for those to come in. But right now, Keith Ellison in the lead, but we will keep watching as the polls and the results come in. Frank, Amelia.
Very good, Jen.
Thank you.
And as you just heard, there's news in the U.S. Senate special election.
Yes, Tina Smith is being called the winner here. She's been being declared the winner of the seat there. Pat Kessler joins us right now. This was a tight race.
Well, everyone thought this would be a little more tight than it actually is. We're looking at these numbers, and Tina Smith just pulled away with it. Again, that could have something to do with this surge of Democratic voters. Tina Smith elected to the U.S. Senate for the first time to finish out Al Franken's term. She was appointed to the seat by Democratic Governor Mark Dayton just last January. Now she is going to fill out these last 2 years of Franken's term. And then there's going to be another election, believe it or not, in 2020.
Yeah, and we should, Senator Amy Klobuchar declared a winner early on in the evening.
This was no surprise.
Yeah, it wasn't at all. And she, go ahead.
Yeah, and that is not a surprise. Amy Klobuchar, 64% to 33%. The only question here was how big was the margin of victory going to be. So look at that, 33% for Neuberger, 64% for Klobuchar. Jim Neuberger was a very good candidate, just can't get traction against somebody like Amy Klobuchar, who is now a nationally known U.S. Senator and a national figure.
Yeah. And she spoke earlier, and she was very positive in her message, and we have a little bit from her acceptance speech.
I think, DFLers, we have learned a lot over the last 2 years since that last election. You know what happened in that last election. The Midwest was left behind. Minnesota, it wasn't an easy race that night. But guess what? In 2018, Minnesota is roaring back to say, we are one Minnesota. That is what we are.
And again, incumbent Amy Klobuchar, her victory speech there. Well, history was made in Minneapolis tonight. Ilhan Omar is the first Somali American elected to Congress. The Democrat defeated Republican Jennifer Zelensky.
John Lordson's live at the Omar campaign party in Minneapolis tonight. And John, I saw earlier, it is a party.
It still is going on here, Frank. In fact, around 8:30 when it was announced that Ilhan Omar had won, there was loud cheering, there was a lot of celebrations going on, and that's just carried right through. Behind me, they're still dancing, starting to calm down a little bit. In fact, it was so loud we had to kind of move back from where we were before. Ilhan Omar becomes one of 2 now Muslim women elected to Congress for the first time, the first refugee elected to Congress. A lot of history being made here tonight, so much so that they actually had media come from Japan, France, Arabic nations were here as well, England. And again, the celebration carrying on. Earlier tonight, about 20 minutes ago, in fact, she actually addressed her supporters and thanked them for supporting her all the way through.
This state has always made me feel like I was part of a family. Because here in Minnesota, we don't only welcome immigrants, we send them to Washington.
And you can see still a lot of energy here, starting to clear out a little bit, but she spent some time, her family also talked as well, and they just, again, wanted to thank everybody that had come out tonight, but even before that, the push they had trying to get the vote out for her, and all the way through the fall, it kind of all commenced this evening as Ilhan Omar is going to make history.
All right, John, thank you.
As we showed you the top of the news, Dean Phillips beat 5-term Representative Eric Paulson quite handily to flip a House seat for the Democrats.
WCCO's Reg Chapman joins us now from Dean Phillips' campaign headquarters in Bloomington, where we can hear there's a lot of celebrating going on, Reg.
Well, Amelia, the energy in this room is electric. Thousands have packed this ballroom at the Hilton in Bloomington. As you can tell, they're not only cheering for Dean Phillips, they're actually dancing and having a great time. The party has begun here at the Hilton in Bloomington. Now, Phillips did unseat Eric Paulson, who's a 5-time incumbent Republican. Actually, the Republicans held this 3rd district congressional seat since 1961, but no longer. Now, this race was a very expensive one. We're told that between Paulson and Phillips, more than $18 million was spent on this congressional campaign. Phillips greeted this energetic crowd when he got up to the podium and says, you know, it only took us 61 years, but we did it.
We've got to stay engaged. We've got to promote conversations and extend invitations, particularly to people with whom we may not agree. We need to get to come together more often and learn how to disagree without being disagreeable.
Now, voters first elected Representative Eric Paulson to Congress 10 years ago. Supporters of the GOP party in Bloomington booed when he told them citizens decided to send a new voice to Washington. Congressman Paulson congratulated Dean Phillips on his victory, thanked his family, and thanked voters.
I do want to thank the voters of the 3rd Congressional District for granting me this privilege of serving you in Congress. It's absolutely been one of the highest honors of my life.
To party hard tonight, make sure they rest because the real work begins in the morning. But until then, these supporters of Dean Phillips say they are going to party tonight. They did the unbelievable by unseating a Republican incumbent who had been in the seat for 10 years. Amelia?
All right. Reg, live in
Reg.
Bloomington. Thank you.
We're going to take a look at the numbers from the 2nd Congressional District race there. 67% of the precincts reporting in. Right now it is very tight. Democrat Angie Craig with 51% of the vote and Republican Jason Lewis with 49%.
Our Bill Hudson is with the Angie Craig campaign tonight in Eagan. What a close race, Bill.
Oh, man, it is very close, Frank. It's been going back and forth all night long. Every time a result is put up there where the Democrats have flipped, you can hear the crowd erupt. Right now they're showing the Angie Craig and Jason Lewis numbers. About a 5,000 vote difference. It's been increasing throughout the night. It was back and forth, but it looks like Angie Craig is doing something that she couldn't do in 2016. Of course, that's when she lost her first race against Jason Lewis, losing it by less than 2 percentage points. You can hear the crowd now chanting, Angie, Angie, Angie. She was here about an hour and a half ago. She was greeting the supporters here at the Lone Oak Grill. She did not address the crowd. She spoke to reporters, said that she was very, very enthusiastically very confident that she was going to pull out a victory tonight. Remember, this was a district, and Pat can tell you this, that when John Klein had it, he won all 7 or 8 of his elections by double digits. So it was a very conservative-leaning district. It doesn't look that way anymore. Looks like Angie Craig may be on the verge of victory tonight. Frank, Amelia?
All right, we'll get back to you. Thank you very much, Bill. Let's take you up north now to House District number 8. That's where Pete Stauber has a 56% of the votes right now, with not many, just a third of the precincts reporting ahead of Joe Radinovich, who has 40%.
Yeah, Jeff Wagner is in Proctor, Minnesota tonight. He's at Stauber's campaign headquarters, and he joins us now. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, good evening. I'd say there's excitement in the room, but because of the speed of those results coming in, it appears as though everyone's gotten used to this 16-point lead. They're just sitting and waiting comfortably with Pete Stauber's lead over Joe Radinovich. We're not going to see Pete Stauber until those results are called. That's what I was told by his campaign manager. Now, over in Baxter, that's where Joe Radinovich is hosting his party. He did show up much early and talk to some of his constituents. Obviously, as we mentioned, there is a strong lead that he's trying to overcome in a district that has trended Democrat for about 60-plus years. But despite his deficit, he is feeling optimistic.
Well, so obviously I'm very nervous right now. I mean, it's been a very long campaign. It's been expensive, and we've had a whole lot of negative ads thrown against us. But I'll tell you what, we have been across the district this morning. I was in the range yesterday. We were in Duluth, and there's a lot of energy on the ground, a lot of people registering to vote, and we're optimistic about the potential for tonight's results.
You heard him mention nerves. I don't believe many people are feeling nervous in this room tonight as they wait and hope to see Pete Stauber soon victorious as a new Republican congressional leader here in the 8th District.
Well, maybe they'll have some patience. I know that's a slow district to get numbers, Jeff. We appreciate you being live and
Yes, plenty of food around here to keep them, busy for some time, though, at least.
All right.
Thank you, Jeff. We're going to take a look now at the congressional 1st District there with 39% of the precincts reporting in. Jim Hagedorn, Republican Jim Hagedorn with 52% of the votes at this point. Dan Feehan with 48%.
Mary McGuire's live in Mankato tonight. Mary, you said kind of the same thing that Jeff did. Results might be a little slow coming in the first, huh?
Right, and that's because both of those congressional districts, the 1st and the 8th, they're very large. The 1st district stretches from Minnesota's border with Wisconsin over to our border with South Dakota. So the votes, they come in traditionally very slowly. Right now, the margins are razor thin, so we could be in for a long night here in Mankato. Right now, 38% of the precincts reporting, and Hagedorn does have a 52% to Feehan's 47%. DFL candidate Dan Feehan is taking on Republican Jim Hagedorn for the 1st congressional district seat. This congressional seat was left open by DFL Congressman Tim Walz, who went on to win the race for governor tonight. Both Hagedorn and Feehan have appeared in front of supporters here tonight. They're competing watch parties happening less than a half a mile away. Now, to give you an indication of just how close this race could be, Jim Hagedorn took on Tim Walz in the 2016 election and lost by less than 1%. So this is definitely a divided district. President Trump won it in 2016, but President Obama won it in 2012. So we could be in for a very long night here in Mankato. We have a lot of caffeine, though.
That's good. You're going to need it. Thank you, Mary.
Let's take a look at the other congressional districts. So this is the 4th district. Betty McCollum, incumbent, 69% of the votes right now to Greg Ryan's 26, with 2/3 of the precincts reporting. House District number 6, Tom Emmer, the winner, 67% reporting, declared the winner, and he had at least 61% of the votes. House District number 7, Colin Peterson, the Democratic incumbent, looks to have a very comfortable lead with 40% of the precincts reporting.
We just learned that Republicans are going to keep control of the U.S. Senate, but tonight Democrats won control of the House.
CBS News just reporting Democrats have taken 220 seats. Republicans hold 187 seats. Keep in mind, 28 are still undecided. Democrats last held a majority in the House of Representatives back in 2010, 8 years ago. So it looks like the House will go to the Democrats. Republicans, though, will keep control of the Senate. Across the border in Wisconsin, big decisions being made there this election day as well.
Yeah, in the governor's race, we were told 71% of the precincts reporting in. Scott Walker, the incumbent, with 48.3% of the votes. Tony Evers, 49.7%. It's a close one. The Senate race, Tammy Baldwin, the incumbent, wins over Leah Vukmir. We have Pat Kessler joining us right now. Talk a little bit about that, about the governor's race, the U.S. Senate.
Right. Wisconsin, that has been a very tight race. President Trump has been to Wisconsin several times to campaign for Governor Walker. This is also a state that was a surprise because President Trump actually won this race. So he won it for the first time since 1982. Now Walker is trailing, so we're going to watch that all night long. It's still very close. That's what we know now.
Pat, talk a little bit about what surprised you about when we were looking at our Minnesota races. One, it was too bad that the Walz campaign didn't have WCCO on. They didn't know he won, but it looks like he's going to be our next governor.
Yeah, that that was a trend that we kind of expected, but you never know in these races, particularly when all of the votes are counted. So Tim Walz is someone who has campaigned very aggressively on health care, on immigration, and also on President Trump and the tone of politics in the United States and in Minnesota. This is something that appears to be a successful message. His motto was "One Minnesota, bring everybody together." And apparently voters like that because they voted him as the next governor.
We want to go right now to Karin Housley, who is running the special elections for the U.S. Senate against Tina Smith. Tina Smith being declared the winner there. And I think Karin is at the podium right now, so let's take a listen.
And then Avery. Without their love and strength, this would not have been possible. So thank you so much, you guys. I love you so much. My son Wilson is also a coach of a hockey team. And tonight, in that back room there, he said, you know, you always come up to me after the game and you go, this really sucks. Yeah, this really sucks. I also want to thank Team Housley, all of these people back here behind me. best darn team on the planet. Back in late December when I jumped into this race, we began putting together a staff, and little did we know that 10 months later, we'd be like a family. So to former Senate Majority Leader and my best friend, Senator Amy Koch. She's kind of cool. We had fun. We had a lot of fun. And to Will, and to Nikki, and to Jake, and Jessica, and Teresa, and Sheldon, and Elisa, and Perry, and Barbara, and Rick, and Shauna, and Erica, and Chris, and Dana. And a special thank you to Senator Rudy Boschwitz and his wife Ellen, and Senator Norm Coleman and his wife Lori. None of us knew what the heck we were.
What you doing?
Thinking about how our company's been doing great work for over 65 years.
Well, yep, that's our legacy of teamwork, doing what's best for our customers.
Call Gens Ryan today for a free heating, cooling, or plumbing service call.
Yeah, I love those guys.
Over 100 years ago, we were talking about the Model T. Now here we are. Talking about winning the most J.D. Power IQS and Appeal Awards. Talking about driver assist technology. Talking about cars that talk and listen. Talking about the highest customer loyalty in the country.
I am grateful to everyone in Minnesota who has put their faith in me. And I will work hard every single day as your United States Senator. I want to just take a moment and thank my family, my beloved Archie, Sam and his wonderful wife, Emily, and Mason and his wonderful wife, Julia, my father, Harlan Flint, who traveled all the way from New Mexico to be with us today. And when he gets up here, you will see he is rocking an excellent pair of cowboy boots. And I also want to thank my brother Mason, who is with me today, and my brother Harlan and both of their families. Thank you all so much. And I would like to thank my terrific campaign team led by the incredible Alana Peterson. And my outstanding Senate staff, both here in Minnesota and in Washington, D.C. This staff always puts Minnesota first. And my friends, I want to give a special thanks to my friend and colleague, Senator Amy Klobuchar. Congratulations, Amy. You know, in the Senate, you refer to everyone as a friend. But Amy has been my true friend for over 20 years and a wonderful partner in the Senate these last 10 months. And tonight, we made history. Amy was the first woman to be elected senator from Minnesota. And tonight, you have made it too. Minnesota is now one of 4 states represented by 2 women senators, and now Minnesota knows that no senator does a better job than Amy at listening, at working across the aisle, and then getting it done for Minnesota and our country. She is strong, compassionate, practical, smart, funny, and that all makes her one of the most effective senators in this country. I am so grateful for Amy's service, and Amy, I cannot wait to get back to work with you in Washington. Now, over the last 10 months as your senators and on the campaign trail, I have been all over Minnesota. I have visited the red counties and the blue counties and all of the counties in between, and here is what I have seen. Minnesotans tell me that they want Washington to get to work and to work for us. You are tired of the games and the politics of blame. You are tired of our interests taking a backseat to special interests. And you are tired of the division and hate. We are better than this, you tell me. Well, today, Minnesota, you were heard. And this victory tonight puts people back at the center of our politics. Here is my commitment to you. I work for you and for a Minnesota where everyone has the opportunity and the freedom to build the lives that we want. And this
Minnesotans came out in droves today, some of them through a little bit of rain and snow.
Yeah, we had the rain early on. We had some snowflakes in the afternoon. Things have calmed down quite a bit now. Maybe not politically, but certainly weather-wise. We had some snow, and it did add up. Folks dug out the old whiteboard to measure the snowfall. Our WCCO Weather Watcher Network members, Brian in Parker's Prairie, 1.5 inches of snow. How about that? Otter Tail, 1.2. And a couple of WCCO Weather Watcher Network members, Dan and Lisa, both measuring 1/2 inch in Chris Schaefer, Minnesota. Thank you for all those reports. We will be seeing more of those as the week progresses because we'll have several waves of light snow and flurries coming through. Another batch that's heading for Forest Lake right now. Very light. Probably won't accumulate. And as I showed you earlier, that thicker band of snow that was back in North Dakota really starting to break up and diminish, but we will see some accumulation over the Arrowhead and parts of northern Wisconsin as we head through the overnight tonight. If you've stepped outside lately, you know how cold it is. 31 is the current temp. You see, temperatures are pretty uniform across the state. The main problem, not so much the air temperature, it's that strong wind out there that's coming from the west. 10 to 15 miles per hour, even stronger down along the Buffalo Ridge where we're getting readings in the 20s. The problem, cold air, strong wind, yeah, it makes it feel much colder. It feels like 21 right now in the Twin Cities. It feels like the teens in many parts of the state. So the light flurries will continue to progress across the state as we head through the overnight. And then by tomorrow morning, basically a cloudy sky. Most of the snow should be out. And as we head through the day, we'll see some breaks in the clouds. Call it increasing sunshine. The trouble is that sunset so early we won't get much of it. Sunset before 5 o'clock now. Highs tomorrow will nudge it up to about 34 degrees. That's about it. The wind should be dropping slowly throughout the day, so it'll feel a little better in the afternoon. And then we head to Thursday. We'll have another little ripple of flurries. Most of the models are keeping the snow farther south across southern Minnesota. We'll see some breaks in the clouds once again as we head toward Friday. The main problem is the cold air. Average highs around 44. We'll be nowhere near that. Not only this week, this weekend, even into next week, our temperatures will stay below average. Let's go on the spot. Personal forecast at WCCO.com/links. Benjamin here, turning 3 years old tomorrow. Birthday celebration in Hugo. It will be a cool birthday party weather-wise, and a cool birthday party, because aren't they always? Yeah. 34 for the next few days with peaks of sunshine and some scattered flurries as well. We chill on Friday. Only a high of 29 degrees. It stays cold this weekend and into next week as well. Like I mentioned, looking at the model data, I don't see anything close to average until we get to next weekend.
All right. Chris, thank you.
Thank you. Well, don't miss the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. They are getting ready for a live special from the Ed Sullivan Theater in New York right now. All the laughs start at 10:35 right after the news.
It's the one question I used to absolutely dread. What do you want to do tonight? But that was before I made some new friends.
That's real good. But that goes down so smooth.
I don't want to miss a thing. That's why I watch.
For 85 years, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Minnesota has been with you every step of the way, supporting quality health care for the way you live. And when it comes to your future, we'll be there with simple, straightforward advice for the Medicare plan that's right for you. You're not new to this, and neither are we. You and Blue.
War reporting means taking risks. I need a photographer. Any good?
The best.
Someone has to go there and see what is happening. You're prepared to sink your country into civil war. The regime's claiming there is no armed conflict. It is a complete and utter lie. What happened?
They've opened fire on journalists. She needs to get the hell out of there.
We have to go back.
We'll die if we go back.
Rated R.
But King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen when the snow lay round the...
Bah. Humbug.
Don't miss A Christmas Carol at the Guthrie. Visit GuthrieTheater.org for tickets today.
Some people ask, what's with the cap? Think of 28 years of deployments, part of a group that's as tight-knit as they come. This isn't a cap. This is me.
Thank you to all those who make freedom possible, whatever their hat size.
This is not a bed. It's a revolution in sleep. The new Sleep Number 360 smart beds are on sale now during Sleep Number's Veterans Day sale. It senses your movement and automatically adjusts to keep you both comfortable. It even helps with this. So you wake up ready to put your pedal to the metal. And now during our Veterans Day sale, the Queen Sleep Number 360 C4 smart bed is only $12.99. Save $400, plus 24-month financing on all beds. Only for a limited time. Sleep Number, proven quality sleep.
It took us years to find the perfect bun for Culver's new Pretzel House Pub Burger.
It's got the nice pretzel flavor on the outside, but when you open it up, it's light and airy. Got a nice sweet flavor to it. It literally melts in your mouth.
This bun is perfect for a Pretzel House Pub Burger. Seared Midwest beef, tangy mustard bistro sauce, pickled red onions, 2 slices of bacon, served with our signature cheddar cheese sauce.
This bun was made for this burger. This is perfect.
I think it's an awesome burger. Welcome to Delicious.
Toyota sets a higher standard with the Camry because so much comes standard. Important safety features like lane departure alert and pre-collision system on every single Camry are, you guessed it, standard. But the head-turning styling of the Toyota Camry is anything but. Tested, trusted Toyota. Right now, you can get $1,000 customer cash on a stylish new 2018 Toyota Camry. Find your Toyota at buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
You're watching Campaign 2018 on WCCO 4 News.
Some breaking news for you up north in District 8. CBS News has declared Pete Stauber to be the winner of that election, beating Joe Radinovich. Here's the latest numbers we have with 42% reporting. But again, CBS News anticipating Pete Stauber to win this race.
And when you look at the 2nd Congressional District there, which is a very tight race, 72% of the precincts reporting in. Angie Craig, the Democrat, with 51% of the vote. Republican Jason Lewis, the incumbent, with 49% of the vote. And he had a tough time, Pat, didn't he? The last election, I think it was pretty tight, too.
Right. So this 2nd district is the one that everybody's waiting for now, and that could help decide the control of the Minnesota House as well. Angie Craig running a very strong campaign against the incumbent Republican Congressman Jason Lewis. So this is something that people have been watching. Again, the surge of votes in the 2nd district are the ones that are propelling Angie Craig. 2 years ago, Jason Lewis won in this district, which had been Republican in the past, but is now leaning Democratic and is likely a toss-up district, Democrat and Republican. So if Angie Craig holds on, that would be another U.S. congressperson who is thrown out of office.
Okay.
And we're talking about the governor's race here. Of course, Tim Walz being declared the winner of the governor's race. What do you make of that and who he worked with in the House, the state capitol? Well,
again, look at these numbers, 56 to 40%. Those numbers are far greater than I think we ever saw, ever expected it to be. So 56 to 40%. And then the Attorney General's race, look at this, Keith Ellison, who very controversial race.
It was yes, it was. I mean, he was leading ahead early on, and then Doug Wardlow pulled up ahead of him, and now it looks like he's pulling ahead with his.
Again, a surge of what appears to be Democratic voters, and we're going to dig deep into this tonight.
All right. Thank you, Pat.
We can also tell you before we go that Dave Hutch will be the new sheriff in Hennepin County. Rich Stanek, 10-year incumbent, losing that election tonight. Also on our website, we have a lot of information about a number of the referenda, especially regarding schools. A lot of voters were asked to fund different schools, and we have the results of those. And then we'll be back in an hour and have a wrap-up of all this. But I know we'll keep an eye on the 2nd, and especially the 1st now sounds like are important, Pat.
And yes, that is exactly what's happening.
And
Wednesday, 9/8 Central. A new SEAL team. Only CBS.
Oh, hi there. I was just pretending to vote. What a strange couple of centuries the last 2 years have been. I'm glad things are finally changing. Or they're not. You see, we taped this song last week. Oh, spoiler alert, there's about to be a song. The rest of the show is live, so stick around. But right now, I have no idea who won or how I feel. Come on. But one thing I know for sure, whichever side won today, the good news is Americans are all in this together. The bad news is, same as the good news. John?
2 years ago, you voted to make things better. Hey, that's what I did too. Turns out one of us was mistaken. Could have been